So, I just got a coffee from the Brighton bars, and look who I found. Hey!
Hey! Oh!
Hi!
What are you doing here?
I've got a building site around the corner, and I'm just doing a site inspection.
House?
Houses.
Houses? Like multi-res?
Multi-res, but different.
Oh.
Yeah.
You gonna show me?
Yeah, you can come and have a look.
Yeah, but I'm fishing.
Well,
I'm fishing for squid.
squid.
Yeah.
Come and have a look. Just reel it in.
I guess we'll roll intro?
What on, Dad?
Beautiful day for it.
How gorgeous is Brighton?
Look at
How clear
the paddle border.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Over there. Good.
Yeah, so we mainly do single houses,
Yeah.
but we're also doing a lot of amazing, really sustainable community-based housing. In
Like
the northern
Terrace
suburbs.
House?
Yeah, like Terrace House.
Yeah.
In the northern suburbs. And this was us working in a different context. So working in Brighton, which, as anybody that knows it, is just a really beautiful suburb of Melbourne.
There's a lot of old houses, but there's also
really
kind of big, modern, sort of modernist kind of boxes.
There's some really
developments.
unsympathetic,
Huge.
huge buildings just going up and demolishing really gorgeous old houses.
Right. Which way are we going?
Well, I think we should go down. Have you've looked at the bathhouses?
No, I don't go to the bathhouses. I go here to
That's
fish, man.
one of my favourite places in Melbourne.
Yeah? Let's go look.
Cool. Before we go and have a look at this building site, I thought it'd be worth coming here because this is a big influence on what we have done in this project. So this project's called Slate House. So like all of our other projects, it ends in house, even though it's actually 14 homes, which sounds like a lot. But if you look at the design, it's not. We've deliberately kept to this domestic scale. So I thought we could start here.
And why here? Apart from just pretty awesome place to chill out?
Well, these are the Brighton boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So many international visitors, when they think of Melbourne, this is one of the things they think of. Like, this is a bit of a postcard point. But it's got just such a long history here in Brighton. You know, they're all owned by locals, these boxes, and obviously they are gorgeous bits of playful architecture. So they're, you know, the kinds of architecture that at Austin Maynard we love. And they really talk about texture and a scale that we like replicating even on our bigger projects. We want things to seem domestic and small and lovable.
I think Ellen de Botton talks about the beauty of cities.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why these are kind of beautiful, because they are a repetition of the same thing, which is important, repetition, but with differences.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty. And when things are completely chaotic without any kind of order, that we kind of don't see as pretty. And then when the things are too repetitious, they're also seen as boring. So this is kind of that perfect mix of, hey, they all kind of roughly the same form, but they have different color, texture, or even slightly different details. They're not exactly the same. So that's why. And then also, they're not exactly just perfectly in the line. They kind of respond to the coastline. So that's why I think there's this kind of romantic beauty to these things.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Check out Elaine de Botton's episode right there.
And therefore, I think there's usually a similarity to your work in a lot of the domestic projects I've been to. I haven't seen this thing yet. But yes, you do break it down into these repetitious forms. Sometimes they rotate, sometimes they don't do different things. They also add different materials. So I guess it does follow similar philosophy in the way that works, as opposed to one single massive gesture.
Well, that's definitely what we've tried to do, is you've got a context of big single homes that have been there for decades. And so we are then putting 14 homes on 2 combined blocks next to a heritage home, a very important heritage home here in Brighton. So we are acutely aware of that context may change, but it takes a while for this to happen. So we need to not just pretend to be one of those buildings, but actually represent the time we live in, but make sure that we are having a conversation with the neighbours instead of just ignoring them and dominating them.
I guess the analogy, sitting here as well, it's like this repetition of existing context. And yes, there's a brief for something much bigger, and someone takes that one of these blocks away, like pulling a tooth out and then just jamming a big blob of stuff in the middle of it.
Big concrete, square. Not that we're fans of brutalism, but it's about context. You remove one of these and you put something...
But how do you do it though? How do you do it to keep that sort of consistency without, sort of cliche kind of fake thing, but at the same time keeping to the scale, and while still having the density that is required for the yield?
That is the question. Don't have
I'm
the
very
answer.
curious now. I want to see this place.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that we have the answer, but the main thing is we're asking that question. And what we're very aware of is there's a lot of developments going up that do not ask that question. So the question here is, we have an existing beautiful context, which I think is undervalued. A lot of people aren't looking at it and don't realise the beauty of it. What do we do? Do we condemn it further by saying we need something new here, out with the old? Or do we actually create something that has a conversation that is related to it and hopefully adds some further importance to it?
We're also talking people who are living in the area, downsizing as well. So they love the area for the qualities that it is.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people that are downsizing and they love this project because it's got a texture that relates to the home they already lived in, but they get to live in this connected community and they love the efficiency of it too. We're almost at passive house standards because the brief from our client was make these highly sustainable homes. So 8.2 stars on average. Some homes are over 9 stars. So these are incredibly efficient thermal envelopes, huge amounts of insulation, double glazing, thermally broken frames, through breezes wherever we can, connection with garden. And so a really wonderful environment where we do expect that there'll be incredibly low running costs, that these houses are passive.
So, are you going to show me that? Are we going to walk over there?
Yeah, but there's also, near it, there's a suite that's got an example kitchen for people to see. It looks amazing. I'm not exaggerating, I think it's the best kind of kitchen that we've done because there's so many beautiful materials and textures.
That's a big call though.
Big call.
I've seen a few of your houses. We'll see.
We'll see. Will it pass the Kevin test?
Will it? Fail.
So, you can just carry around these stickers. Go,
red card.
Red card. You're out. Oh God, I hope not. My client will be disappointed if they turn up and there's like a Kevin red sticker on there. Sorry, fail. Start again. I love it. I don't care what he thinks.
It's not about you.
It's not about me. Look at past episodes. It's not about.
It's all about me.
So it's under construction. We've got a slab down, but we've actually gone and built like a fake apartment so people can come and experience it. And it's got lots of key AMA stuff in it, such as storage in the kitchen, super important. But we always tell people they should keep their storage off the floor, so you get lots of light bouncing through there instead of having this huge floor, huge mass. Now look at the quality of these drawers. We absolutely geeked out on creating proper hardwood drawers and joinery.
Oh wow, these individual pieces of wood.
Yeah, and a beautiful little brass handles. So what we've noticed is a lot of people actually don't like the push stuff because they end up bumping into it and things like that. So they actually want to grab something, which I tend to agree with.
Yeah, and they tend not to last, I find.
No, exactly. You've got to replace a lot of those. And then look at the level of detail, like the way that we've actually turned the corner. So this is still a really functional drawer.
Oh, look at that edge.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So it closes and you get that great continuation.
Isn't this strip here?
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
And then like a lot of the kitchen benches that we use, there's a gap on one side, so you can line a whole heap of stools up, so you can have people facing you having a glass of wine while you're working away. But then on the other end, we've then made sure that you can sit people around the bench, so it can end up being like an informal dining space where you can just sit around it and have a meal instead of going to the dining table. It's also really good when you've got kids, like everybody just sit here and get it done while I finish off over here. Fridges, check this out. Completely concealed fridge.
Oh, I was wondering where that was.
Isn't that great? Like you think that's a whole bunch of storage, but the reality is that's the fridge right where you need it.
Wait, hang on. This is for speculative housing, and it's actually built in.
Yeah, this comes with every apartment. But as you'll see with the plans, we'll get to those. These are more than apartments.
Right, because usually there's just a hole in the wall, and you have to. I've fitted out 2 apartments, and you have to measure the size of that, and then you go shopping for the right fridge to fit in the right place. Often there's a huge hole left over.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So typically this would be a hole with a PowerPoint in the bottom.
Yeah,
and you don't get, and nobody gets the right size fridge, so you end up with this strange line around the outside where you go and stack a whole heap of junk. We've gone and just built in the fridge and the freezers into all of it.
So the developer decided to do that. That's very brave of them.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. But it's what people want. Again, these are forever homes. These aren't just for investment. This is for people that are downsizing and actually want to live somewhere good.
Mm.
And then pantry space, you end up with this hidden pantry that's got heaps of space in it. With also all the other cupboards that you get included. But that, like everything else, is concealed.
There's this beautiful curve there, is it right?
Yeah. So that's the other thing, is you just end up with feeling like, I don't know, I always find you end up feeling smaller when the spaces are defined by these hard edges. So we've put these beautiful curves in with the timber. And then the same thing where we've got the bathroom. So the same timber wrapping around, and then that conceals the bathroom.
That's a limed finish there, right?
So we
just timber finish.
Yeah, because some people have said, love it, but there's a bit too much wood going on. And so that's where we've actually done this lime version. So you still get that beautiful texture, but it just tones down the overall colour. All of the bedroom cabinetry, full height.
Yeah, I noticed you've got a lot of wardrobe space in your plans.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, this is what we hear all the time when we do apartments, is people are like, great, where are the robes? And it's like, get robes. Where these, again, are for forever houses. So it's like, we all know that you need really functional robes and storage to keep your high vis in. Yeah. And then, like a lot of our work, just really beautiful textures and tiles, and really functional as well. So always thinking about how easy it is to clean. Like these undermount basins, so it's really easy to clean these. And then glass splashbacks, places to hang your towels, all the everyday stuff.
Oh, it's built in.
Yeah. And just thinking about the way people use spaces. So you have a shower, the towel's right there.
I'm filming you in a shower again.
Again, hi, welcome to my shower. Yeah. Oh, and just all the stuff's, I want one of these at home actually. I don't have one. Cool, huh?
Is that the Japanese, that beautiful Japanese? It is that Japanese tile.
Yes.
I used it once too.
I don't know.
You don't know. It is. It's a Japanese tile. It's beautiful.
Oh, the little things. The little things. They're important. Excess toilet paper.
Oh yes.
Never run out. You don't have to be doing this awkward. Just so.
Or just run to the other room or something with your pants down.
Like how good, like these beautiful shelves just hidden in there. Just really practical but gorgeous.
Oh, what behind that? Oh.
Yeah. Because that's just like a leftover space where we've had to run the services for the shower. Ah. So it's just drawing it, thinking about the practicalities.
It's just a metal plate?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Gorgeous, huh?
Yeah.
Do you want to see some plants?
Plants? Right there.
Very punny. Can you tell he's a dad?
I guess one of the main things is it's broken down into different volumes, smaller volumes.
Yeah.
Are they sort of roughly the grain of the typical kind of houses around?
Yeah, absolutely. So in this particular form, this is basically, you can see the dotted line. It's basically a roof pitch going that way, so it's very much in keeping with the context. And then this one is a glass corridor, so then that becomes a roof going there, and then going through there. And then here you can see the roofs below, which are smaller, pitched roofs. So very contextual, but it's broken down into discrete forms instead of being one big blocky building.
It kind of looks like a church from what I've seen from some of the renders, right?
Yeah, well, this is one thing we've talked to people about, is you look at, in suburbs, these beautiful little homes, and there'll be a bigger structure, a church, with a slate roof that just sits there nicely in the context. And that's what this is doing as well.
Is that why it's called Slate House?
That's why it's called Slate House, because we are so literal. It's covered in slate. There's slate and there's tiles and there's bricks. All these materials that are flooded throughout this area, we're using here. Where you look at a lot of other places that are putting multiple homes on one lot, and they're all these modernist boxes, just big white boxes that have nothing to do with, it's like a spaceship's landed. You come in this front door, you have a toilet right near the front door. So what we know with growing families is you race home and it's like, I need to go to the toilet. So putting a washroom right there is a great way to help out people with young kids. And then this whole zone up here, look at this zone. This is living, dining, and kitchen space through here. Look at the size of this kitchen. And this is all terraced area, facing north, so you get lots of passive solar in there. That's the living zone, and we've separated, just like we have in so many of our homes, the sleeping space via a little glass corridor. So then you've got sleeping zone, but this is the active zone. So you think about the compromises you make when you're in a apartment, you're kind of living on top of each other. Here you can be having a party while somebody else goes and has a sleep and not get disturbed.
Some of them even, they're bigger than...
Oh, these are...
Yeah, this is bigger than Terracotta House.
Terrace House?
Terracotta House.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at Terracotta House,
yeah,
in that episode, that's the size of her bedroom, and then she's got a little ensuite hanging off it. That's basically the footprint of the upstairs of Terracotta right there. So these are big family homes. It's just you have the efficiency of shared facilities. Like the heat pump alone in this place, because there are 14 homes, is so efficient. It's basically the greenest, cheapest energy you're ever going to run the services on.
It's shared infrastructure.
Yeah.
So again, breaking down the volumes again, I can see, but also, the separation of sleeping night zones and day zones, really, in all of them, really. Yeah,
exactly. And instead of doing back-to-back apartments, what you can see here, we've mirrored a plan, but look at the living spaces. These face north. So this is one home here, faces north, the living space, but then the kitchen is facing out onto gardens as well. That also means you can pull the glass open and get through breezes passively cooling the house. Like, this is stuff you don't get in apartments. That's why I'm really reluctant to call them apartments. And then ground floor. So the cool thing about ground floor is the amount of open space and garden. Like, just have a look. Like, look at this particular apartment, G05. Look at the size of the terrace, let alone all of this garden, which all faces north. So you're getting a huge amount of natural sunlight flooding into there. G02 has a garden going all the way around it. So if you like gardens and you think apartments are a compromise, check that out. And then a beautiful big living space.
What has been the outcome of the design? Because design is an investigation in itself.
Yeah.
So
I think the big learning here is that Australia is ready for really livable homes that are joined, that are connected with other homes. So in Europe, this happens a lot. In Europe, they look at these plans and go, yeah, it's a big family home. That's what you should be designing. So I think the takeaway here is that all of these design principles that we've been designing on single homes, where they've all got the same amount of servicing into that one home as you need on a shared home, can be done collectively and more efficiently.
As opposed to detached dwellings.
Yeah, exactly. And that apartments don't need to be a compromise. They're actually better in so many ways.
Because of the potential shared infrastructure and efficiency.
Low running costs, you can make them more sustainable. And if you build something with a certain personality, you're going to attract other like-minded people. So you get a beautiful community. The problem with Australian apartments has always been that they've been designed by spreadsheet. So you put in, what are the economic factors? what's the land price, what's the minimum I need to do based on planning legislation, and then just churn them out. Instead of asking what people really want, and we know what people want because we design individual homes, you can achieve the same thing, but in a shared community.
So we're going to walk to the site and have a look?
Yeah. Oh, there's the train.
Yeah.
Sustainable transport people.
Here's one of those large, humongous developments. Can you spin around and have a look?
Yeah, so this is, we try to always be positive advocates on Archimarathon, but this is what we were trying to not do, was the generic, aggressive white box, but instead to learn from our context before we go and design something. Because this thing could be anywhere. What the hell's it got to do with a delightful place like Brighton? Do you know what I mean? So this is where we look at these kind of houses, we look at that kind of house. Look at that relationship there. That's exactly what we didn't want to do. You can see, like, that is Slate House. Like, without being...
Oh yeah, that sort of 1920s, 1930s brick.
Yeah, and it's got the smaller gable before the bigger gable.
Yeah,
So we've done that to allow us to be able to then fit in those upper levels.
Ah.
So that's a 2-level house. We used exactly the same smaller gable, bigger gable to be able to fit in that 3rd level.
Here's a couple more of Brighton white. Huge thingo. And there's another one further down.
Sorry if you live there or designed it. You've got the original house that sits on the corner here. We just came from the shops down there, and this is it. So we're sandwiched in between a little weatherboard house and then the heritage protected home.
Right.
Oh, and they've got the framing ready to go.
That's a whole new world.
Yeah, and all the LVL as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
That's the lift core?
Lift core, there. Stair over there, stair over there. And so
that's the T-shape. Okay, I can see the T-bone now.
Yeah, and there'll be... Yeah, exactly. So there'll be one house here,
yeah,
one house there, and then you'll have level 2, level 3.
Ah, so you've got quite a stepping thing.
Yeah, and it steps back off the street.
Ah.
Come and check this out. Like, this is sick. Slate roof, covered in beautiful lichen. Oh, there's the church up there as well.
Oh.
So the argument being, look, there are bigger... That's actually a much bigger building than our building.
Yeah.
But there are bigger buildings
wow,
in working
look at this
concept.
thing.
Yeah.
Is this a house?
Yeah, it's a house, but it's
Oh.
individually significant. So this is protected under... it's got heritage controls on it. It will never change.
Right.
And you can see the palette materials. So we've got lots of brick paving. We've got the slate. But we haven't copied it. We haven't gone, oh, look, we're from the 19th century. Like, this is still a building of its time. One of my favourite, like, regardless of how good the architecture is and the homes are, what I love is that you just walk out of your front door and you come down past St Ronan's, beautiful heritage home, past another beautiful heritage home on the other side. And you come to this great little footbridge.
Oh, that is the station right here.
Yeah, so one side of the station's here and then you just cross over to the other side.
Right.
And Slate House is just there.
It's pretty cute.
It's cute, isn't it? Look at this one as well. How beautiful is that?
Oh, wow.
So this is the kind of stuff we're trying to communicate with instead of just doing dumb modernist boxes. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to know more about Slate House, which is just there, then there's a link below. But in the meantime, Kevin and I are going to go have a game of croquet.
What's croquet?
You'll find out. You'll love it. Come and have a look.
What's croquet?
Just come and play.
Croquet. Is it... Okay.
He doesn't know.
I have no idea what...
You seem worried about it. Like,
yeah.
No, but seriously.
Isn't that like...
What's croquet?
Yeah, what is croquet? Isn't that like a... You know what they're called?
What did they say?
Weaving? Like some kind of... What's that?
Crochet.
Oh, crochet. Ah, no? Not the same thing?
No, crochet. It's the... You need all that grass for really big crochets. Yes.